So it's always fun to give your students a voice. Well, sometimes it's fun to give your students a voice. So we're going to talk a little bit about discussions and polls. So the first one I'm going to go over is how to add a discussion. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to go into add a content block, and you're going to start to see a trend here. I'm going to spend a lot of time in this content block button. So I'm going to first click on that, and I'm not in content, not in calendar. I'm going to go to connect and assess. So think about connect. I'm connecting with my students. I'm asking for something. So the first thing I'm going to click on is discussion. So I'm going to talk about that one first. So I'm going to choose discussion. And in Haiku, it always asks you to put in a title. You can always hide it. So for this, I'm just going to put in library talk. And I'm actually going to choose to hide the title. And I'm going to put in, so this is going to ask me a short description. And this is just, this actually up here is just kind of more for my reference. So this is about, talk about potential library speakers. And we'll click next. So here's where it's going to start to ask me how I want to define how it's set up. So when can they write their post? So I'm going to have this open from a certain time. So I want it from this time, looks like it's fine. So it's giving me a month. I could have it open for a couple days. If I just click in here, it's going to give me a calendar. So maybe I only want it open for the 15th, which is fine. I could attach a file if I need to. It's going to ask me where I want to place the block. So everything it adds is, think of it as it's putting in a new block of information. So I can choose where I want that to be. So I'm going to choose actually to move it to the bottom of column 2. And then I'm going to click finish. And here it is here. So talk about potential library speakers. All the person needs to do then is click on that link. And oh, look, it has a new interface. Something new. I'm not even familiar with this. How exciting. Okay, check out the new interface. I'm going to click on it. You're seeing it here first. Post new threads. Well, I'm not going to click on it. I'm not going to take the new tour. You can see the new tour. Okay. But what it allows your kids to do is you're able to go back, and I'm going to switch back to the old interface. This is where you'll actually be able to see all the discussion topics and details. You can print them. If I wanted to go and view the results, if I wanted to close a discussion, lock it down, if for any reason it started to, I don't know, started to get ugly, get out of hand, I could lock down the discussion. You could do that. If you need to go in and edit it, you could do that. So maybe it wasn't specific enough. So maybe about who would you like to see come speak at the library? I don't know. And save so I could edit what my discussion topic's going to be. So this is the interface is where you would see your responses and make all of your changes. Okay, so discussion is kind of a nice area where you can go back, and if I go ahead and close it again, here it is out here at the top, and my kids know it's a discussion topic because it's got that those two little bubbles here in my discuss, so they know they can click on that and they know that it's still open. Okay, the same thing here. If I go back to add a content block and I go back and I click on the poll button, this is very similar. So I'm just going to give this another name again of library, and I'm going to hide the title. My question is, do you like to read? And my choices are yes and no. I could add more choices if I wanted to. There's some settings down here if I want them to be able to add others. If I want them to be able to add multiple choices, they could do that. Who can vote? So students only, everyone in a roster, anyone can vote who happens to come to this page, so you can open it up. I can go ahead and click next here. I can ask them to respond via a pop-up as opposed to just having it show on the screen. If it's a small one, you can have them just show it on the screen, which is fine. If it's a lengthier one, you might want to have it come up in a pop-up screen. You can have it display the results or never display the results, or after the poll closes, it might be fun to show. So especially during, say, well, I don't know, an election, it might be fun to see anonymously have people vote and then have it show the results afterwards on different things. And here you can decide how long you want to keep it open. And then lastly, where you're going to place your block. So I'm actually going to switch it up. I'm going to move it to the top, and then I'm going to click publish. And now you can see how quickly I've created a little poll. And as soon as people go, they'll know that it's open. Like they can very easily click. If I actually go in and preview, I'll show you what that looks like here. Now open to students with no set in date. Okay, they can go in and they can click on that and they can see that. And here's my discussion topic. Okay, so very easy. You can create your discussions, you can create your polls. It's a great way to get your students involved in different things and get their feedback.